Seth and Michael are going to come up here and present. And Michael is an associate professor at NJIT. He started his career on Wall Street, which is pretty impressive, and mentors currently at NJIT's Small Business Accelerator. He's also a member of the New York Angels, and what I found to be interesting is he loves his Ivies. He's a Yale bachelor and then PhD from Princeton. So shame on us public school guys, but we're very impressed and very thankful to have you. So with that, Michael, please come on up. And Seth, thank you for joining us.
So welcome to Smart City Newark. My name's Mike Ehrlich, and I'm from the NJIT School of Management and the New Jersey Innovation Institute. My colleague, Seth Wainer, is the Chief Information Officer for the City of Newark. Urban centers are growing worldwide. Current estimates for 2050 indicate that 2/3 of the world's population is going to be living in cities. That's up from just over 50% today. Now, yet, less than 2% of the Earth's surface area is actually occupied by cities, and cities are currently producing 70% of worldwide GDP. Our civil infrastructure is crumbling from the combined effects of age and neglect, and our urban centers are probably among the most impacted areas that are feeling this neglect. Our urban centers have seen deterioration of their tax bases, and due to flight from their middle class, and also deterioration and erosion of their industrial bases. We're at risk of creating urban slums if we cannot come up with a solution to create workable, livable environments in our urban centers. Traditional urban development is too slow, too expensive, and too resource intensive to be able to deal with the influx of urban dwellers that we're expecting in the near future. We're going to need to find new solutions to come up with to maintain our economic growth and standards of living in the face of increasing urban intensity. Access to data and the ability to manipulate that data is the key to get participation into the information economy. The United Nations Conference on Development and Trade and Development just came out with a study that indicated that cloud computing is a cornerstone technology for future social and economic development. Individuals need access to information and communication technology as an on-ramp to social and other capital that they can, and also as a way for them to get economic development and economic benefits for themselves. Society needs broad internet and ICT participation in order to enhance economic equality, social mobility, democracy, and economic growth. ICT access is also going to enable productivity growth that can actually follow a path of lower resource utilization. So how do we propose to address these issues? We propose to establish Newark, New Jersey as a smart city prototype. We plan to establish a free, citywide, gigabit Wi-Fi network and interoperable network of Internet of Things. The system is going to be owned by the City of Newark, but managed as an open system. So it's going to have a plug-and-play environment, making it easy for developers to prototype and deploy new technologies which will solve urban problems. Innovation, entrepreneurship, and commercialization of new technology is going to be fostered by a broad array of training, incubation, and business acceleration. New innovations are going to be able to scale and establish feasibility while creating new job opportunities for participants in the cities. Our urban centers have the potential to become the new frontier. Cities like Newark or Detroit can be transformed from old-style industrial centers into technological showcases. In Newark, we have a derelict network of antique fire call boxes like this one that lies on top of an underutilized world-class fiber optic network. It's the merger of these two components that actually gives us the backbone of Smart City Newark. The next phase of information technology, called the Internet of Things, or IoT by some, offers the promise of opening up the information economy to every person, and in the process creating cost-effective solutions to classic urban problems like traffic, transit, public safety, healthcare delivery, and infrastructure resiliency. So what's our radical solution? To better understand, let's see how we might interact with the Smart City Newark. Your Google Glass tells you it's 2:55 p.m., and you know that you have an appointment downtown in 15 minutes. That's no problem. A multimodal route optimization is going to tell you that the best way to get there is take a car to light rail straight downtown. You can call Uber, and a car is going to come in 1 minute. It's going to take you 1 minute and 45 seconds to get to the station. The next train is coming in 2 minutes. You're not going to have enough time to buy your ticket for the light rail. But with automated light rail collection, you can just step onto the train. It's going to recognize who you are. It'll automatically deduct the fare directly from your account with New Jersey Transit. As you're passing by the Newark Bears Stadium, you hear a roar, and you say, "What's that?" "Ah, the NJIT baseball team just won with a walk-off home run." "Well, can I get tickets to that next game?" "Oh, it's going to be tonight." "Oh, great, I just scored some great tickets for a game at 7 p.m. tonight." Now, before I get off the train, I can get some timely reminders. I better buy those flowers. My anniversary's tomorrow. If I don't, I'm going to be in the doghouse, and I do, in fact, need a flu shot. With augmented reality, there's not really a question of which way to turn when you get off the train. You're going to get a walker map, you're going to get building notes, and in fact, you're going to get a weather update. And so, geez, I don't need an umbrella for today. Now, if I had chosen to take my own car downtown instead, it's okay. I could have pulled straight up in front of the building, hopped right out, and jumped into my meeting because my car has auto park. And not only does it have auto park, with real-time vacant spot identification, it'll find an empty spot and park itself. So I arrived at my destination, and I got a minute to spare. But oh no, I left the coffee maker on, and of course there's no one at home. But that's okay. With an internet-enabled appliance, I can just turn it off remotely. No big deal. So what did we just experience in 15 minutes of Smart City Newark? Well, we got personalized and optimized multimodal transportation, streaming entertainment, sales capture, personalized contextualized commerce, personal health alerts, augmented reality, parking management, and home safety. And those are just the ones we thought of. So how do we think about this smart city paradigm in a general way? We think that information is the new electricity. Before we had electric power, we worked, we played, we lived our lives. But after the introduction of electric power was introduced, we transformed manufacturing, transportation, communications, and consumer goods. We enhanced productivity, we increased real wages, life expectancy, and wealth. We believe we'll be able to do it again with the Internet of Things. We're going to get IT out of the office and back room, and we're going to make it a seamless part of our everyday lives. Broad participation in the smart city economy will enhance lives and renew our urban environments. Facing disruptive technology will create new innovative business models and jobs, and offer us a chance to improve sustainability and find a less resource-intensive path to the future. With your help, we can make Smart City Newark a model for the world. Are there any questions?
A free Wi-Fi network that everybody can access within the city. That's been dreamt up and people have tried to apply it elsewhere. Cable companies, telcos kind of say, we're in that business and you're a public utility undermining our profitability in a very anti-capitalist way. They kind of twist the regulators' arms to not allow this to happen anywhere in the US. Why do you think it can happen in Europe?
So what we're looking at is not necessarily just free Wi-Fi for folks when they want, to access something on their smartphone. What we're really talking about is a plug-and-play environment where anyone in this room who wants to come up with a savvy sensor for noise or a way to detect if there's been a car accident or whatever it is, to have access, cheap, free access to both data and real estate in which to deploy that idea around an urban environment like Newark, New Jersey. Being one of the densest, largest cities in New Jersey, in the country. And so ultimately, the Wi-Fi component and connectivity, what we all experience on our laptops and cell phones is terrific, but at the core of it really is a free, low-cost or ultra low-cost data network that would enable people who want to develop these new tools for the future to kind of put them into action. And so from that angle, what we're looking to do is create a test bed in Newark, New Jersey, that can be deployed to other cities around the world.
In your
In your demonstration part where you showed all the little apps, is anything in that scenario not being done today?
So Mike and I are limited in our own imagination, right? Mike and I can only find the ideas that are out there. We're just not that creative. But I think what we're really trying to get at here is technology for the other 99%. It's Hanukkah, it's Christmas coming up, everyone's going out to the Apple store, we're buying the $1,000 gadgets or whatever it is. And I think what we're really looking for is to enable a technological revolution for the urban lifestyle that is currently facing serious problems. Specifically, I'll give you an example. We have a lot of vacant properties in the city of Newark. And the ability to track whether someone's entering a vacant property unauthorized is about $700 to $900 per home, and that's too much money, right? Electronically, it's too much money. Why? Because a lot of the telecommunications infrastructure in the United States is just not geared to make this type of thing an ultra-cheap solution. And we can do that in Newark, New Jersey by democratizing who has access to levels of this type of data, and then perhaps with some different kind of bandwidth spins, get that communication and that last mile into the home and lower the cost of detecting a vacant property intrusion $50 to $100. That would really be something, and that would be something remarkable all over the country.
So I get why this is wonderful, and I get that it has all kinds of things on the consumer side, but I'm back to John's question and was really sitting here wondering, how are we going to pay for this? And I'm a huge proponent of Newark, have seen it try and get numerous times in my lifetime, really hope for the best, kind of really just hoping for the best. How are we going to pay for this?
Well, McCarter and English and Verizon, as residents of Newark, no. This is a good question. I think the reason why Mike and I are both up here, Mike being from NJIT and NJII, and myself being from the city, we have some really powerful corporate residents who are super interested in this, ranging from Panasonic to Prudential to Audible.com, who is featured in the puzzle here. And so I don't think it's a problem necessarily of a pure cost. I think for a very limited investment pool of $1 million to $3 million in 6 months, we could have our first round of 10 to 50 sensors set up around the city that would enable the Google developers group to say, well, okay, what cool devices do we want to try and plug in at 50 or 10 free sites around the city? What can we detect? What can we learn? So I don't think it's really a problem of capital, to be perfectly honest. I think it's a problem of imagination and collaboration. I think there's plenty of capital in the city, and God willing, if we win this competition, we'll have a little bit more.
Yeah, sorry, that might be the start of the answer to my question, which is, what kind of analysis have you done on the stresses that this will place? You know, like you, I understand the benefits on the consumer side, and I can see how it would work because I live in Tucson, Arizona, and I can actually change the thermostat of my house from my iPhone, right? I can turn the heat up or AC on or whatever. But what kind of stresses will it put on the supply side? You know, the kinds of hardware and software that you're talking about to serve that user side.
I think that when it comes to supply and bandwidth, Newark is very lucky. I'll start with the supply side first, then I'll go to the bandwidth. Supply from a networking perspective, I don't think this is going to be a tremendous challenge. There's folks much smarter than me with companies much larger than we're representing, who have 100 gig routers and this kind of thing, and 10 gig routers. So I think we're really in good position. But I think what makes Newark really important from a test bed perspective, and the gentleman from Verizon can attest to this as well, is that Newark has kind of world-class infrastructure. We have a really fine port that served the city for 200 years, followed by the greatest railway system, the Pennsylvania Railroad coming through, and the telegraph and the telephone and the internet. And so as a result, Newark is rich in these internet resources, as much so as like as New York City and Lower Manhattan. But the beauty of Newark, compared to Lower Manhattan and trying to tap into this, is the street opening permits in New York are going to be much harder. And if you look at the way New York is going with their recent announcement around the payphones and kind of this type of model, you'll see it's very different. It's not technology for the 99%, all right? The New York City model is a great idea, and it's about free Wi-Fi and giving it to one developer and letting that one operator kind of sell the advertising to feed into the network. It's fundamentally not what we're talking about. What we're really talking about is a collaboration of infrastructure and brains and putting those things out there for this room to come up with the great kind of solutions that are going to sit on top of that platform. So it's more city as a platform rather than city as a solution.
And what makes this solution really unique is that it's an open architecture. It's not really owned by anybody. Anybody can come up with an idea. Small entrepreneurs can come up with an idea for an internet appliance, slap it onto one of these locations, and basically suddenly be generating data and creating a business opportunity.
To be very specific, power over Ethernet, right? If you've got an Ethernet jack, you're good to go.
Yeah.
We'll give you, if you got an Ethernet jack, you got a 1 gig feed to your sensor, and you got power, and you're good to go.
Then it's your imagination.
Thank you, Mike and Seth.